A door opened in heaven. John's vision of glory and judgment. John begins to share further soul-stirring visions with us. By inspiration, he is still on the Lord's day. So, what he describes has deep meaning for us who are living on that day. Through these visions, the Lord lifts the veil of invisibility on heavenly realities and gives us his view of his judgments to be executed on earth. All of us, therefore, should continue to be keenly interested in John's expression. Happy is he who reads aloud and those who hear the words of this prophecy and who observe the things written in it. Revelation 1, verse 3. What John next beholds surpasses anything presented by video to modern man. He writes in Revelation 4 verse 1, "After these things I saw, and look, an open door in heaven, and the first voice that I heard was as of a trumpet speaking with me, saying, 'Come on up here and I shall show you the things that must take place.'" John in vision penetrates the invisible heavens of the Lord's presence, exalted far above physical outer space as explored by human astronauts, even far above the galaxies of the material universe. As though by entering an open door, John is invited to feast his eyes on a breathtaking panorama of the ultimate spirit heavens, where the Lord himself is enthroned. What a privilege! The Bible does not identify this first voice. Like Jesus' strong voice heard earlier, it has a commanding trumpet-like sound. It brings to mind the penetrating horn blast that signaled the Lord's presence at Mount Sinai. Undoubtedly, Jesus Christ is the majestic source of the summons. He has opened the door so that John in vision can enter the most holy location in all the vast realm of the Lord's sovereignty. What does John see? Listen as he now shares with us his grand experience in Revelation 4 verse 2, "After these things I immediately came to be in the power of the Spirit. And look, a throne was in its position in heaven, and there is one seated upon the throne." In an instant of time, John is spiritually transported by God's active force to the very throne of God. How thrilling for John! Here he is given a dazzling preview of those very heavens, wherein he and other anointed Christians have reserved for them an incorruptible and undefiled and unfading inheritance. For those whose hope is to live forever in heaven, John's vision also has profound meaning. It helps them to comprehend the glory of the Lord's presence, and of the heavenly ruling structure used by Jesus in judging the nations and afterward, in governing human lives on earth. Jesus is indeed the God of superb organization. Much of what John observes up there in heaven resembles features of the tabernacle in the wilderness. This was constructed about 1600 years earlier as a sanctuary of true worship for the Israelites. In the Holy of Holies of that tabernacle was the Ark of the Covenant, and it was from above the solid gold cover of that ark that the Lord himself spoke. Hence, the cover of the ark served as a symbol of the Lord's throne. John now sees the reality of that symbolic representation, the sovereign Lord Jesus himself sitting in exquisite grandeur on his lofty heavenly throne. Unlike earlier prophets who had visions of the Lord's throne, John does not describe in detail the Holy One who occupies it. But John gives us his impression of the enthroned one in Revelation chapter 4 verse 3, and the one seated is, in appearance, like a jasper stone and a precious red-colored stone, and round about the throne there is a rainbow like an emerald in appearance. What incomparable magnificence! John perceives a serene, scintillating beauty like that of lustrous, gleaming gemstones. How appropriately this agrees with the disciple James's description of God as the Father of the celestial lights. Shortly after writing Revelation, John himself stated in 1 John chapter 1 verse 5, "God is light and there is no darkness at all in union with him." What a superbly glorious personage the Lord is. Notice that John sees around the throne a rainbow, colored emerald green. The Greek word here, translated rainbow iris, suggests a completely circular form. The rainbow is first mentioned in the Bible in connection with Noah's day. After the waters of the deluge subsided, God caused a rainbow to appear in the cloud, and he explained what it symbolized in Genesis chapter 9 verses 13 and 15. "My rainbow I do give in the cloud, and it must serve as a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. And I shall certainly remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living thing among all flesh. And no more will the waters become a deluge to bring all flesh to ruin." What then would the heavenly vision bring to John's mind? The rainbow that he saw must have reminded him of the need for a peaceful relationship with God, such as the one John class enjoys today. It would also impress him with the serenity and peace of the Lord's presence, a serenity that will extend to all obedient humans when God spreads his tent over mankind in the new earth society. John knew that priests were appointed to serve in the ancient tabernacle, so he may have been surprised at seeing what he describes next. And round about the throne there are 24 thrones, and upon these thrones I saw seated 24 elders dressed in white outer garments, and upon their heads golden crowns. Yes, instead of priests there are 24 elders, enthroned and crowned like kings. Who are these elders? They are none other than the anointed ones of the Christian congregation, resurrected and occupying the heavenly position Jehovah promised them. How do we know that? First of all, they are wearing crowns. The Bible speaks of anointed Christians as gaining an incorruptible crown and attaining an endless life, immortality. But since these 24 elders are sitting on thrones, the golden crowns in this context represent royal authority. This supports the conclusion that the 24 elders portray Jesus' anointed footstep followers in their heavenly position, for Jesus made a covenant with them to sit on thrones in his kingdom. Only Jesus and these 24 elders, not even the angels, are described as ruling in heaven in the Lord's presence. This harmonizes with the promise that Jesus made to the Laodicean congregation in Revelation chapter 3 verse 21, "To the one that conquers I will grant to sit down with me on my throne." But the heavenly assignment of the 24 elders is not limited to governmental rule. In the introduction to the book of Revelation, John said of Jesus, "He made us to be a kingdom, priests to his God and Father." These are both kings and priests. They will be priests of God and will rule as kings for the 1,000 years. Revelation chapter 20 verse 6. What is significant about the number 24, in that John sees 24 elders around the throne? In many respects, these were foreshadowed by the faithful priests of ancient Israel. The Apostle Peter wrote to anointed Christians in 1 Peter 2 verse 9, "You are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for special possession." Interestingly, the ancient Jewish priesthood came to be divided into 24 divisions. Each division was assigned its weeks in the year to serve before God, so that sacred service was rendered without a break. It is fitting that there are 24 elders depicted in John's vision of the heavenly priesthood because this priesthood serves the Lord continually, without ceasing.